Okay, the fuselage sides are ready. I've trimmed off the overhang, and now I'm going to glue in the two formers, F1 and F2, and these go on the side at 90 degrees, and so when both sides are glued to these formers, they are parallel, and this is very easy to achieve. Let's see how we do it. The firewall F1 and this fuselage rib are glued in place at 90 degrees to the side. To do that, we use some kind of square, and the glue I'm going to use is this here. This is 30-minute slow cure epoxy. There's two parts to it, and for this kind of application, epoxy glue is really good. Now this has to harden, and when it has, we can glue the other side to this assembly, and then we'll have our fuselage. Here we are. These two are now fairly stuck in place, and we are ready to glue this side in. Now I've put some steel blocks here to keep this flat and immobile, and I'm going to use this block here to hold against this rib because it can move. So I'm going to put it here and put a little clamp on it like this, so now it will not move. Now I can just make some more epoxy, put on these two, and then put this down. Now when I do this, this should fall in place, and I can use a square like this to make certain that it's square here, and then I can just square up the top side here because it's straight. So two squares, and the front. This should make everything very square. Now let's get some epoxy glue. Now it's settled and hardening. I put some weight on top of the ribs. I can't put any weights here in the middle because then it'll just sag and it'll harden like that. I don't want that. I want this to be straight as possible. The square tells me that everything is sitting as it should be. So now we'll just have to let it alone and let it harden. Okay, everything is settling in and hardening quite well. Now we have to add a few bits before we can say that the center of the fuselage is ready. We have to put two of these spruce sticks, one here at the front and one here at the back, and these are a part of the frame for the opening, which is here in the bottom. This one clearly has to be engineered a little bit. Then we have to have this little plywood plate. It has to be fitted here for the landing gear, and in order to do that, we have to remove the doubling here, where this is supposed to come, and then there's this little balsa stick that comes here in the front, where F1A is supposed to sit. So let's get all this off the table and put these sticks and bits in, shall we? Now we're going to glue in these little bits, and we begin with this one. The others, these two spruce bits and this plywood, we're going to use wood glue. Now this has all dried and hardened, and we can remove all the clamps. So here we have the fuselage. It's quite stiff and does not warp in any way. So the next step would be to join the back end together and put in the radio, the servos, and the servo snakes, the controls for this model. Yeah, looking good.